In layman's terms, don't allocate your problems to a politician. He won't solve it for you. You got to solve it yourself.
He's going to use your problem to push through his plans. As KaiR said, the plan was rejected, access denied. Apparently, the Supreme Court agreed with the stance of the 6 states and the 2 borrowers. Now, as KaiR said, the balance was 6-3. Can we go back to the picture, KaiR?
Of course, of course.
To see the judges, so we see what we're talking about. Because here on the Double Touch Show, of course, we always say that you have to always be responsible for yourself. Because people are not out here trying to save you. The composition of the Supreme Court as it stands is, can you guess it, guys? Can you guess it? 6-3, as in 6 of the Supreme Court judges are Republicans, and 3 of the 3 of the judges are liberals. So many jokes.
Correct.
So many jokes. I think, guys, if you didn't know who was who, and you only had the information that 6 of the 3 were Republicans, I think you had an 80% chance of of picking the right composition. But
if you look at the picture, it seems to me it's saying the heart of the SCOTUS group. They took the picture. The outsiders are really outside.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. What is this, man? What are the so many subliminals?
Yeah.
Look at this. 6, all the 6 are in the middle, outsiders on the outside.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not gonna say. I'm not, hey, man.
It's not a political show, guys. This is for politics.
Go to someone else, man. Go
For
to any
politics. Buy a newspaper, throw it in the trash. Now, guys, this is important now, because of course Biden had to respond. And before we pull up that article, remember what we always say here on the Double Touch Show. You're responsible for yourself. We just said that the amount of, so the principal and the interest were, or at least the interest was frozen for 3.5 years.
Technically, that would have been the best moment to pay it off.
Exactly. So actually, if you would pay off your debt in those 3.5 years, you would be way further than pausing. Now, some people, so I'm not in the shoes of everyone. So some people might argue that they didn't have the money to pay, but I'm just saying that is something that, I mean, like from a purely rationalistic point of view, that would be a great moment to pay, right? Because or that's my philosophy, at least. I want to have my future in my own hands. So I know, if I'm not certain, if I know that there's a case pending and that they might reverse the student loan payment, I knowing myself, I would have paid just to be sure. I want to be sure that I'm contributing. And if they do agree with if the judge would have agreed, then hey, it is what it is. But I did what I believe that was right for me. That's what we on the Double Touch Show here, where we talk about, we say you're responsible for your life.
Don't wait for anyone to help you or to save you.
No one's going to save you. Now,
no one's going to save you.
The judges disagreed. And what does the White House press release state regarding this matter, you might ask? How did they react? Let's look at the discrepancies. The first the title of the article starts with the words fact sheet. If we're talking about facts, right? So, and if we're talking about facts and coming from a party, well, up until a couple of years ago, we didn't know the term alternative facts, but now we do. You would expect that it would be just a bullet point of factual statements, right? Okay, we proceed. Fact sheet. President Biden announces new actions to provide debt relief and support for student loan borrowers. First paragraph. It's an objective article. No president has fought harder for student debt relief than President Biden, and he's not done yet. President Biden and Vice President Harris will not let Republican elected officials succeed in denying hardworking Americans the relief they need. Nothing about that article is a fact. It's all statements. When you're reading these articles, and guys, this is not because it's the Democrats, it's just politics. It can be the Democrats, it can be the Republicans, but it's just politics, guys. When you read this article, it's clearly a post on behalf. It's not an objective post whatsoever. But it wouldn't have been a objective post if it came from a Republican administration either. We say that to say, or I say that to say, that when you wait for other people to save you and you make choices in your life based on promises of other people, and those promises do not fall through, and when they don't fall through and you go check out how the reaction is in that particular case, you see that they're still playing the same games. It's still a marketing. They're marketing themselves. They're still promoting themselves. Doesn't matter which side of the spectrum it is. It should be a moment, it should be a wake-up call as an individual to say, hey, I believed, my bad. I might vote for this president or I might not vote. Doesn't matter who I vote for or if I vote or not. But if this doesn't function as a wake-up call for people to say, hey, I need to make smart decisions and for myself, and don't wait for other people to save me. If this is not a wake-up call, guys, I don't know what is.
Yes, because 77% of young voters said student debt relief motivated them to vote, RJ. Can you believe that?
I can.
This is quite wild. 77% of the people were hoping. You made a choice.
Yeah.
You made a choice, and now you're hoping for someone to save you. I mean,
yeah. And you can ask yourself why why it didn't go through Congress. Well, I know why. It wouldn't have passed.
No, he waited until he waited until the Congress changed, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact. So,
but
you mean recently with the yeah?
He had 2 years to put it through, and then the Congress changed, and then he started to push it. Anyway, guys, I don't know anything.
Yeah, but it's just games. It's just politics. I mean, you need politicians. Politicians play a role because you need to have in a country, you need to have, just like in a company, you need to have at the top a body that governs and that runs the organization, in this case the state. So they have a role. Not only the president, not only the president and its cabinet, but just government has a role, it has a place in a country. But don't think for 1 minute, or don't think for 1 minute that on that level they are thinking about you individually. They can't. Even if they wanted to, they can't. Even with the best intentions, they can't, because they're thinking their priority is to run a country, just like the priority of a CEO is to run a company, just like the priority of a of the parents in a household is to run the household. And they're trying to balance everything, all the interests, but at the end of the day, they don't have specific your specific interest in mind. They can't. So if you delegate your interests, or at least the taking care of your interests, to politicians or to other people, you put yourself in a worse position than if you do it yourself. The easy way out might seem to be delegating that responsibility to others, but that's just a fake, that's just an illusion. What seems harder is actually what will bring you the best result, and that is take responsibility and do things for yourself.
In layman's terms, don't allocate your problems to a politician. He won't solve it for you. You got to solve it yourself.
He's going to use your problem to push through his plans.